Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure unboxing video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the GxMateria. That's right, it's another one of these figures, the YAMCHA. Not just YAMCHA, the YAMCHA. Obviously, we have taken quite a few look-sees at figures in the GxMateria line by this point, but we have, of course, not taken a look at the YAMCHA yet. I was very excited when this figure was first announced. Obviously, this guy is super cool for a multitude of reasons. We never get YAMCHA figures, and obviously getting a YAMCHA figure with an effect. By the way, thank you for distributing this. I got this figure on Amazon, if you're wondering why it has all these stickers that you usually don't see, like this sticker. But obviously the most important one, the sticker of authenticity, is present on this figure. But yeah, obviously because we don't get that many Yamchas, and of course doing the Fang fist, obviously that is super sick. And I cannot wait to see how the effect comes out. It's going to be interesting because obviously this figure is sort of unlike the rest of the GxMateria line, where a lot of the other figures, right, have been like Kamehameha blasts and have been like, you know, Frieza had like the Death Ball and stuff like that, where it was very like explosions and big and a lot of pieces coming out. But this seems to be just one wolf. So I'm going to be curious to see how this figure actually ends up looking, and if we're actually going to have to cut anything, because usually for our GxMateria figures, your boy is whipping out the Gundam clippers, basically the model kit clippers, but I don't know if we're gonna need to do that for this one. Yeah, definitely looks like not. Wow, okay, so that's just gonna be a piece there. Let's go ahead and get our man out. I'm very excited about this figure. This is a line that I have been basically collecting religiously, even though I haven't reviewed all of this line, which I will probably get around to, obviously, between the Dokkan Assets channel and now, you know, doing all the figures. I'm looking for the hole. I don't see a hole on this one, so I guess I'll just rip it. But obviously, you know, I think I will get around to doing this entire line. There isn't really, I can't even recall a figure line where I did every single figure in the line, because obviously that's a lot, but this is literally one of the best lines in Dragon Ball figure history, I think, or at least in modern Dragon Ball figures. So I am really excited for it. Absolutely. Obviously, I still have to open Rose, which I already own. Gotenks, which I already own. Oh, I found the hole. Oh well, doesn't matter at this point. The only figure that I actually have not like received, basically, or purchased, that is from this line is the Kaioken Goku, because that's just a color swap to the original. And I do want to get that at some point, but I think he's a little bit rare. And I don't know if we got that one stateside, actually. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look. Unfortunately, it is our just sort of like cheap stand here, so we're just going to plug that in. Maybe, there we go. Wonderful. Nice. It does feel very like matte finish almost, which is kind of a weird feeling. Ooh. And it also, like, I don't know, the feeling on my hands is very strange. Alright, so funny enough, Yamcha actually looks very odd from this angle. It's not flattering, but when you look at him like this, woo, boy, that is a good looking figure, if I do say so myself. Let's go ahead and put the boy together, and then we will actually take a look at the full sculpt. That slides on nicely. And he actually doesn't hurt that much, which you would think it would hurt quite a bit with all that hair, but it actually doesn't hurt that much to get him on there. And they did a good job of sculpting this. Obviously, they have it so that the bottom of the top half, right, is sort of shaped like this. So then that way, when it sits on the bottom of the figure, it looks like one piece. And wow, that is a very good looking Yamcha, even without the Wolfang fist, right, to accompany him. Holy moly, this is a very, very good looking figure, if I do say so myself. If you want to collect all the Z fighters, right, and you don't want to pay absorbent amounts for the Ichiban Kuji figures, this is definitely a good way to get your Yamcha figure out of the way. Alright, so we have the Wolfang Fist effect. Again, I believe, as far as I know, this is the first GxMateria figure. I think it might have either been him or Gotenks to have an effect piece that's more of like a solid piece rather than, you know, a bunch of beam blasts, or like, I suppose Rose's Scythe also kind of counts as like one solid piece. But this was so cool to see when they announced this. I was like, wow, they're really changing up the GxMateria line, and I am here for it. The sculpt on this is absolutely immaculate, by the way. It's kind of hard to see the details because of obviously this really cool plastic that they have for the purple, but rest assured they did a great job. I mean, it was a great idea to have it executed this way as well too. Alright, so we do have a big hole in his head, so I'm assuming that we just jam this in here. As you can see, there is a big hole right there, and that should just go in like that. Yeah, okay. Is there any like special thing? No, it just looks like it connects like that. That is cool that they sculpted his hair, that it literally meshes so well right there with the edge of the Wolfang Fist. And wow, that has a lot of substantial weight now. Holy cow. That is so cool. That looks really sick. I am kind of interested about the angle that they picked. Let's see how it looks on the stand. I was kind of thinking you'd be able to see more of the wolf's face, if I'm being honest. Not that I don't like how it ended up turning out, but I was thinking it would be kind of at a different angle. Is that good? How does this is so weird because it has like the only indication of how it goes is this little edge here. So I guess, yeah, it just goes on like that. I just want to make sure that it's on correctly. Okay. Even though that is kind of a small stand there, it does feel like it's going to hold up the figure pretty well. Alright, so that is our boy put together. My goodness, he looks good. Holy cow, this is definitely a figure that I think was worth the wait. And like once I opened it, I was, you know, like, I'm like, yup, this is what I was expecting. And I'm very happy with it. Yeah, the only thing I think that's interesting about this guy is that, like, I was kind of thinking, right, because if you're going to display him like this, I was almost thinking you'd be able to see more of the face of the Wolfang Fist. Let me take a look at the box, actually. Let's see. This is, like, the side angle that we have here. Let me put the cardboard a little bit more in there, right? This is, like, the side angle that we have. Yeah, it kind of looks like... Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, it almost looks like the wolf is like... I mean, it's not exactly the same pose. Obviously, we're also looking at this from different angles, too. But it kind of looks like you can see more of the wolf head on the box, right? And he's, like, almost moved this way a little bit. And you can see more of the wolf's face. I think it is kind of cool on the figure, though, because it's, like, more emphasis on the mouth, which is almost, like, more of the attack. But... yeah, that was the only thing that really seems like any big difference to me. Like, let's do this pose right here, right? The wolf definitely looks like it's at a little bit of a different angle for sure. Again, it's kind of hard to, like, capture it exactly, but, like, let's get basically this angle. Yeah, definitely looks like that the wolf was maybe planned at one stage in the planning of this figure to be at a little bit of a different angle. Or maybe it's just my camera angle, depending on how they have it versus theirs. But nonetheless, I still think it looks fantastic. And let's go ahead and get into our size comparisons. Alrighty, starting us off, of course, we have our usual WCF Goku and Ichiban Kuji Gotenks. As you can see, this Yamcha is actually not that much bigger than the Gotenks figure. He is a pretty average size prize figure, right? I definitely don't think he's too crazy big, and I definitely don't think he's too crazy small either. He looks to be standing at about, I would say, like 8.5 inches. It's kind of hard to get at the angle that it's at on the camera, but yeah, I would say like probably the 8.5 mark-ish, maybe more like 8.75 looks about correct. He is definitely almost encroaching on the 9-inch mark, which is cool. Obviously, you know, he is a pretty big figure just because he's so long, right? So without the height being a factor, he is kind of a long figure this way because, of course, the attack that he's doing. And the wolf obviously adds a little bit more mass to Yamcha as well. Alright, so I don't have too many figures to show you here. There isn't really anything too crazy that I could think to combine with Yamcha. But one thing that I did want to bring in with Yamcha here was I did want to bring in another GxMateria figure. Now, I know we did just recently open Gohan on the channel, but he was kind of a mess, if you remember, with how he ended up being with his effect piece. So I just decided to grab the GxMateria Frieza, and these guys do look really cool together for sure. This is kind of what I was talking about that's really interesting. Up until this point with the GxMateria line, you know, they've been sort of doing these like blast effects where they have all these effects coming off of a ball with like Kamehamehas, and obviously with Frieza, you know, the death ball here and stuff like that. But more recently, you know, like Rose has had the staff, Yamcha has had the Wolf Fang Fist on his back, right? The Gotenks had the ghosts, and I believe now we have the Krillin who has the Kiens on, right? So it's interesting that they're sort of straying away from the almost like model kit sort of put together the Kamehameha in the beginning that they had before, and now it's just like two cool shiny effect parts. Or like Kid Goku as well has the mouth of the Great Ape also with him too. Alright, now this is probably the figure that I thought would fit the best, rather, excuse me. Obviously, we did take a look at these guys recently, and of course, being Z Fighters, I felt this was a bit of a appropriate comparison. We of course have the Ikiden, Son Gohan, and Son Goku, and wow, these guys look great together. It would be kind of cool to have like a full Z Fighter set where these two are the centerpiece, and then all the Z Fighters are sort of like jumping forward around them. I think that would be a pretty cool setup, but obviously, this is very nice having these two figures standing next to each other. It is so nice to have just a good Yamcha figure because obviously Yamcha gets no love in terms of Dragon Ball, so it's nice to have a figure where, you know, he actually gets a good, you know, just like job done about him, right? It's very nice to see. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Don't mind me cleaning up in the background here, by the way. If you guys would like to support this channel, definitely go head over to the Patreon. That is exclusively for the figure unboxing channel if you would like to support me opening more Dragon Ball figures and stuff like that going forward. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. That is what helps this channel grow the most. I am so happy with the way that this channel has been going, and I'm so glad that people seem to be enjoying the figure unboxing content as much as I am. So thank you guys so much for that. And of course, I will leave a link to the description where you can actually pick up this Yamcha figure. He shouldn't be too expensive. I know I got my copy for like 20 bucks. I ordered him a while ago. I pre-ordered him when he was available for pre-order, so he's just been sitting in storage, and I decided he was going to be the video for this week. So definitely not a expensive figure either, which is what I'm saying, right? The GxMateria is one of my favorite lines because it's also not expensive, and the figures always turn out great. So very good stuff all around here, of course, as well. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments section below. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one. Dokkan out. Peace.